The Arctic portal does look pretty sick. Alright, let's do this. G'day, ZiggyD here, welcome back for some more Path of Exile action. Today we're going to have a bit of fun, guys. We're going to have a bit of fun. We're going to be doing a bit of an alching frenzy. I'm going to be alching a whole bunch of jewelry. I've done this a few times on stream now. And today we're going to be doing some more. I have a whole bunch of stuff sitting aside here. A whole bunch of jewelry. And I have something like 48 alks. And we'll probably spend a good amount of those. What we're going to do is alch a bunch of this jewelry and then assess the value of the items. I'll talk about if they are valuable, if they are not valuable, if they are valuable, why they're valuable. And then we'll do our best to work out the value of the items as well. When it comes to pricing things, caveat guys, don't just say like, oh, this thing had 40 life and 2 resist, and he said it was 4 chaos. It's always going to be 4 chaos. Prices change within leagues, they change across leagues, they change based on the time of day, they change based on the people trading the items. But you use it as like a guideline for relative value of items and also a guideline for how to go about pricing things. Essential tools everybody needs for crafting and for valuing items in games. PoE.trade, this website just here, you can search stuff on this site to find prices, we may well use that. And PoE mods, this site is amazing, it's so good. So if I click on rings here, I can see what mods are prefixes and suffixes, very important when it comes to master crafting, and I can see how much of each thing rolls. So let's say we get a ring that's got 21 weapon LE damage on it, we're like, oh, how high is that? Is that a good roll? Is that a bad roll? What? It could be like 100, I don't know. Come to here, you see 21, okay, that's not great, but not too bad, you know, it's up there. Because of the big bracket in the eye levels, I can say, alright, well, maybe getting eye level 75 is like a bigger, higher end sort of goal, but 21 is still, you know, helpful for someone, not too bad. It's not like 5 weapon LE or something. So you can get a bit of an idea of value based on the amount of the rolls, because if you get 79 life, you know, you've got maximum roll for a life ring. So, this is a very handy site to know and to use. Okay, let's talk a little bit about what jewelry I pick up and alch, and why I alch it, and also what stuff I'll be chancing, because I'll be chancing some stuff too. But, what we're doing just here is, I have a bunch of eye level 70 plus jewelry. Now, this is not a specific level so much as just me trying to get the highest level jewelry that I can currently get. Usually when I'll start doing this is very early in a league, in a new challenge league, I'll start with level 60 jewelry. As soon as I start getting level 60 jewelry. I did this a bit earlier and it worked out well. And then I will start doing my highest possible level jewelry until I get to level 75 maps, or maps that drop level 75, so I'm doing 73s. I'll keep an eye out for rare monsters that drop 2+2 levels, that's eye level 75. Now the reason for that is, eye level 60 works in the Chaos vendor recipe. If I trade a full set of rares to the vendor, I get a Chaos back. That's very important for doing this sort of crafting, because the idea is that you're going to cover some of your costs with the vendor recipes, no matter what. If everything rolls rubbish, you're still going to make a good chunk of your money back. Every 4 pieces of jewelry you craft, you get a chaos back. So you're making back about half your costs. 4 alks equals 1 chaos, you know. The 2 alks is approximately 1 chaos in terms of value. And you get 1 chaos back for every 4 alks you spend. So that covers half your costs right off there. Anything else you make starts bringing it up and starts giving you extra value on top of that. So, and then eye level 75 works in the Regal recipe, which is actually better value. Then you're spending 4 alks to get a Regal back, and Regals are typically worth like 2 chaos, so, or 1.5 to 2 chaos. So if they're at 2 chaos, you're actually making back all your money back just from vendor crafting. And with that in mind, I've never made a loss. I don't think I've ever made a loss crafting jewelry in Path of Exile. As long as you're doing it with vendor recipes in mind, as long as you're doing it intelligently, and as long as you're getting the highest level jewelry you can based on the age of the league. So as I said, stop doing level 60 jewelry like a couple weeks into a league. You shouldn't be doing level 60 jewelry then. You'll do a pretty good job of making a profit if you can start to get a bit of an idea of what to sell and how much to sell it for. So hopefully this will be interesting, guys. So what we're going to do first is I'm going to first take out any jewelry that will be chanced. So this will be amethyst rings and gold rings. Now, I just made a video on YouTube recently, some of you guys probably saw, explaining why I chance these items. Oh, barky dog. Please no. Sorry about that. Okay, so first I'm going to chance these items. Now, I could alch these items, but I want the chance of getting their uniques. Ming's Heart and Various. So both of these have valuable uniques. That dog. So I'm going to be chancing these guys first, because if I get a rare, then that's good. That's what I would be doing anyway, but I get a chance at the unique as well. So I'll chance each one of these ones. I'm not expecting to get a unique today, but we'll see what we do get. Okay, what do we got here? So we'll just vendor any blues that aren't any good. So these are all pretty bad. That's a rare. That one's pretty bad. So all resist is a good stat to have on rings, but it's a very low roll. And here's the chat going off because of the dog barking. So rude, so rude. That looks good. This one here is not bad. A good thing to keep in mind is I actually pick up blue jewelry in maps as well. I nearly always pick up blue jewelry. I missed a gold ring. I'll go back and get it in a sec. I should not be vendoring these all together like this, also, because it gives you another ring back. But I'll vendor these for shards. But, okay, let's just shift these. Hold on. Okay, so I pick up blue jewelry in maps because this is almost worth selling. Almost. Close. If this had rolled a little bit better, it would be worth selling. The reason is life and a resist is the two main things people look for on a starter ring, like a starter endgame ring. If this had rolled like 70 life and 35 fire resist, that would be valuable. Someone would want to regal that and then mastercraft it to create the exact ring they want, or someone would literally just wear it as a blue. You can sell rings like that early in a league with like, you know, 70 something life and 35 of a single resist with a good decent base for like 5 chaos. I'm not even joking. So this one is unfortunately not a very good roll though. 48's low. It's like mid-tier life. Not too bad for ring, but mid-tier. But the fire resist a bit too low. I'm not going to bother with that one. So we'll sell these guys here. Sell that one. And you'll notice I'm getting some alt shards. Blue rings, blue jewelry actually gives good density of alt shards back. So they fill up your inventory and they give you alt shards back, which, you know, that all adds up. So we'll just sell these guys here, and I'll sell that. This one actually rolled a really good lightning resist. I think that's T2 lightning resist roll, second tier. Fire resist, fire damage though, not very popular, so not worth. If that was like life or something on the prefix, that'd be worth a lot. So, but otherwise, what do we end up with here? We ended up with a rare gold ring with cold res and lightning res. If we look at PoE mods, we can see that this level of resistances is about mid tier. There's a good idea just to keep in mind the tiers of resistances, starting at 6, ending at 45, 42 to 45 is tier 1, 36 to 41 is tier 2. You're usually looking for items with about this, but anything like 24 to 35 is mid resists, and if you get like 2 or 3 of those, it can still be valuable. This one here with 2 okay resists, but not much else on it, not very valuable, not very valuable. So this one could have like life added to it. I don't know. This one I would struggle to sell, I think. It's almost good. It's almost good. So what I do with things like this, I'll actually put this in my Chaos Vendor Recipe tab. And I've actually priced my Chaos Vendor Recipe tab at 1 Chaos. So if any of this stuff, someone's like, oh hey, I need an amulet with specifically these stats, even though I think it's garbage, there's a chance I can still sell them for a Chaos. That's actually a tip I got from Rich Jane Money, who got it from Pox, I believe. But apparently that's a good way to make a few extra chaos. I only just started doing that. This one here is not bad. This one here has got 16 all res, which is really good. 16 all res. You can see on the all resist here, 16 is literally max. So that's a really good. And all resist is typically valued higher than normal resist, because this is 16 plus 16 plus 16, right? In one roll. So it's pretty good total amounts, but it's also spread out, which makes it easier to gear. So this one's actually pretty good here. It's also got some fire resist on top. It's a mediocre fire resist, but it's still extra resistances. And it's got a flat energy shield roll. With evasion, with this sort of one, what I want to do is I want to check this and see if I can add life to it, or can it have another resist added to it. It could be able to have, I don't know if you can add % ES or not. Not sure if that's possible. But it has open slots for life and a resist. So this sort of ring will definitely sell. I would say at least a few chaos. The all resist is really valuable, so that one's a nice one. So we did all right there. We got one sellable out of the chancing we've done so far. I think we've got another one to chance here. Gold ring. Let's chance that one. It's a very low implicit. Let's just vendor that. Okay. Now something you can do here is if you end up doing a bunch of those and you get a bunch of not really sellable gold rings or amethysts or any jewelry, if you get 5 of a kind, you can actually vendor them together to get a reroll. That's a recipe people like to do for other items, but I don't really like to do it for jewelry. I prefer to use the Chaos Vendor recipe, but I just thought I'd give that a mention. Okay, this next one here, next step, I'll take iron rings. If I've picked up any iron rings, you should pick these up. Because, go away. You can actually create a perfect resistance ring out of this. All you do is get some gems. So I'll just grab some gems here. I prefer lightning resist, that's more popular because of lightning coil's popularity. They're a little bit easier to sell, it's not a big deal though. And you'll just vendor it with a gem. Just check until you get a 30% one. So iron rings equal a guaranteed perfect resistance. That's 29, 20. Any money I don't get at 30 here with like heaps of tries. 29. Let's just go the 29 for now because I don't want to spend forever checking gems. But you can basically check gems until you get a 29. Or sorry, until you get a 30. I'll just settle for the 29 because I'm lazy. Okay, so this one gives us another one just there. The other thing I'm going to do is just check briefly to see if there's anything that's poorly rolled that I've picked up and has escaped my mind. Something like 20 cold res? I'm not going to bother doing that. Unless it's like I level 75, it's too low on implicit. It's missing 10% resistance. Not going to worry about that at all. 25 is okay, but anything lower than that. 22 crit chance, not great. Crit chance, however, is popular in the softcore league, so I probably will arc that one anyway. That'll do. I think everything else looks okay-ish. Alright, so let's start off by alching. Now, I'll start off by alching some belts. Not many people like to do belts, but I've usually had pretty good success with belts, and they do go into the chaos recipe as well. I actually alched this one yesterday. Look at that belt. Oh my god. I alched this, guys. That belt. I must have crafted a really shitty life roll onto it, but someone can overwrite that. It's got a sick armor roll, sick try resist, and bonus energy shield on a good base. Man. That belt is sexy. I actually alched this one I'm wearing too. That one also rolled really well. So there's an example of good belts. Belts, for most people, survivability, life, and lots of resists. That's where people make up a lot of their resists. Sorry about the music, guys. It was a bit too loud on that song. But it's also a damage slot for attack-based builds as well. You can get fizz damage from the Rustic Sash, and you can get weapon ele damage from Mastercrafting, or it can roll normally. So, something like that, for example, is a good balance of offense and defense. And then there's some other nice stuff, like reduced flash charges used is actually a really good stat that some people undervalue. But, okay. We'll alch these belts and we'll get started with some Rustic Sashes. Bam! Goodbye, alchemy orbs. Okay, so this one rolled armor, life, and resist. When I see that combination of things, I'm like, alright, that's a good start. I'll take a second look at this belt. However, the armor roll is atrocious. 8 armor is terrible. You can get up like 400 armor. 23 life is very bad. If you look at PoE mods, we can get familiar with the belt roll potential. So if I go just here, I might have... Did I sell some alts or something? I don't know. You guys might be just tripping. So we look at the life run here. We can see that life on belts goes up to 99. So this one was how much? 23? Very low roll. Cold resist is an okay roll. It's not too bad. The chaos resist is a bit low. And 1 ES, 5 life regen. This belt is garbage. The belt is garbage. It had the right stats, right? Life, armor, resist. Had the right stats, just in very low quantities. So this one goes in the vendor recipe tab. This one has basically nothing of value. Like, reduced flash charges used is good, but only if the belt is also good. This one's got an okay life roll, a good strength roll, no resist, garbage. This one's got a good life roll or an okay life roll, a bit of resist, maybe very early on in the league because this is actually level 28, so maybe someone low level dueling would want this. I might actually put this up for like a chaos. I don't know very much about low level dueling prices, but I know that that's probably a decent life roll for low level dueling. The cold resist is probably helpful. It's a rustic sash. Maybe someone will get that as a budget low level dueling belt. That one basically has nothing, just a little bit of resist. And this one also pretty bad. So no really good belts in there. So these ones all go back into here. Okay, we'll do the leather belts. This 26 roll is a bit low, so I'm going to get rid of that one. We'll save alks and just alk the ones with good implicits. Okay, and that one's pretty bad as well. It rolled no life-based belts. You really want to get life on them because if someone's wearing a leather belt, they probably want life. So they probably want both the implicit and the explicit life. Resist life and resist what you mainly want to go for that. Like that other belt I showed off earlier is the perfect example of a leather belt that you would be like. I'm selling that thing for a couple exalts, so it's a good example of what is good on a belt. Alright, next we'll do a bunch of crit chance rings. As these are crit chance bases, anything that synergizes well with crits is going to work really well. So we're keeping an eye out for that, but otherwise still life and resist. When it comes to rings and amulets, there's a lot more variety, and I'll try and explain that as we see things. We might get nothing good today, but we might get at something nice. We have found at least one sellable, low-level dueling and one sellable ring here so far. This one has accuracy is good on crit rings, but it's not a very high roll or anything. No fizz damage or anything. Okay lightning res, no life. I don't think that's really worth anything. So we can chuck that in here. High dexterity, a little bit of resist. Not much of anything. High stats can be valuable. Like, high dexterity is useful for spellcasters, but without anything else really. Actually, this one is almost good. It's got 38 dexterity. Dexterity is hard to get as a spellcaster, so that's a pretty valuable, like, helpful thing to get. And then it's got ES, so that could be useful for Eldritch Battery or ES-based spellcasters, and a bit of resist. If the resist was maybe higher, I'd probably try and sell that, but I don't think it's good enough to worry about. This one's a bit better. 40 dexterity, 2 good resists, helpful for spellcasters. Bonus rarity, as always, adds a bit of extra value. I think this one is this one's definitely sellable. Couple chaos at least. This one has 42 ES as a good base ES roll, and rarity. Dexterity again, nice for spellcasters. Not much else though. No resists, no extra crit. Seems kind of bad. I think I'll just vendor that one. Okay, what are we getting? What do we got next? Let's grab... Oh, I mixed a crit chance ring. Oh, this one's actually got 15 all res. So this is a blue one I picked up and ID'd, and I saw 15 all res. Remember that 16 all res was a max roll? This sort of item is worth augmenting. We got 1 to 5 lightning. It's rubbish. You never know, though. You never know. Could have rolled life, or could have rolled something else nice. But definitely getting life on that would have been glory. Hi, Mom. I'm on the YouTubes. You're also on the live streams. Alright, let's do some 2-stone rings. There's something specific you can do with 2 stones as well. You can actually get additional value out of 2 stones. Let's alch all these. Oh, so much alch expenditure. Okay. I'll go over the chaos recipe a little bit later if you guys have been wondering what that is. Okay, so this one, bit of rarity, nothing really else that's really worth anything, so that one's rubbish. Chuck that in there. Those are all terrible rolls. This one has only got stats on it, very little of anything else. Wow, what is with these garbage rolls? Okay, this one's good. 72 life, good roll for a ring. Only like 1 tier off max, I think. 16 all res, max. Unfortunately, the evasion's not very good. The lightning damage is not that helpful to many people, but this should be able to have something nice mastercrafted onto it. Looks like I can get another resist mastercrafted onto it. I could craft this to sell it, but I think I'll just leave it as is. People will buy a blue ring with that life roll and all resist on it. That's a good, like, starter ring. So the fact that that can also have some stuff mastercrafted on as well, that's definitely worth something. So that one's not bad. That's worth at least 3-4 chaos, maybe a little bit more. So that was a good one. Here we go, 15 all res rarity. Not much else though, not much else. With no life, no ES. Yeah, probably that one would be difficult to sell. So just the all res by itself is not enough. The rarity is not enough gravy to make it valuable. This one here, bit of ES, very low fizz roll unfortunately, low cold res roll, low rarity, probably difficult to sell as well. These ones in here I like, well maybe it could sell for a chaos, but I'll probably put it towards a recipe. So that's all those ones. This one here, mana regeneration's a valuable stat, but that's way too low a roll. You're looking at like 30-40 at least to be valuable, and there's nothing else on there anyway. And that one is garbage. So, what we can do with 2 stones now, guys, as I mentioned there was something else you can do with 2 stones, is you can actually get extra value of these guys. I'm gonna bring across all my 2 stones, and you can actually use these in a 3-for-1 recipe. So every 3 alchs you spend on these, you get an alch back. And this works for corrupted as well. So if you get like corrupted strongboxes, or if you corrupt them, you can use crafting sometimes. I'm not going to go over that in this video though. We can actually arrange this here, so we can go red and orange and red. Let's just sort these out so it's nice and visual for you guys. Orange and red. Orange and red. There's blue and red there, so we can put all those blue and reds together. And then there's orange and blue there, so we can put all those guys together. And I'm actually doing this for a reason. I'm just trying to make my inventory look pretty. if we sell these 3 guys together, we get a prismatic back. So what we can do is we can actually switch these out until we get a good implicit. Now we can actually check. If you guys are ever curious about implicits, you can literally just go to Google, type in PoE wiki, and then type in the name of the item. So we can go, it's prismatic ring. This song is by Kelric. Someone in chat's asking. So you can see the implicit here is 8 to 10 all res. So what we can do is we can actually switch this out until we find one with 10. So we can go for the perfect implicits. There you go, there's a 10. Now we can do this a few times, and what we're doing here is we're trading 3 rare 2 stones, 1 of each different type color, and we get an unidentified rare prismatic back. So we can just keep trying this with these until we get a 10%. There we go, there's another 10%, nice and easy. So this one's going to be my bottleneck, unfortunately. I have a lot of the other ones. There's 10% first go, nice. So it looks like this will be the last one we can do though. But we can switch these out for all of these here. 9%, oops. Can't switch that one out, that's the only one we've got. 9%, 9%, 8%. So if that one's not working, what we can do is we can switch this one around instead. Until we can get that 10%. We might get unlucky though on this one. This ring might be a dud. 10%, there we go, perfect. Then what we can do is we can just put all these back in here. We can I use these ones on chaos recipes last if I can, since that they can be used. So I just basically got 4 alks back for those. Because essentially, a rare is worth an alk, right? It's like I alked a prismatic. Except prismatics don't drop, so even more valuable. They're also considered to be a pretty valuable base. This one's pretty good. The resists are not great. The cold wood is even bad, I would say, but they do have some resists on it, and it's an all resist base. So this thing still has 30% total resist plus 19 plus 16. Not that bad, not that bad. And then it's got a decent fizz damage roll and physical leeched as life. This is actually probably an upgrade for me. It might be an upgrade for me. I could probably wear this ring. So if I could wear this ring, someone else can wear that ring. That thing is worth something. Fizz damage combined with fizzed attack damage leeched as life. Those things go together. Resists, if this had life on it, I don't know if we can put life on this, unfortunately. I think might be able to. No, I think the life leech is a prefix. So that could only have, that could have another resist. It can actually have all resist added to it. So that thing's pretty decent. Not GG by any stretch, but definitely sellable. We have a life leech with a bit of accuracy, nothing really else. That one's pretty bad. Oh. Ooh. Okay, so this one's good mana regeneration roll, 55% is quite nice. Decent rarity roll, a low all resist roll, but it's an all resist ring, so it's got like 14% total all res, which is not bad. That's like, what, almost 15, 30, 45 total resistances, not bad. And then it's got dexterity as well. So dexterity mana regen, that's like a, you know, Eldritch Battery builds, always on the lookout for more dexterity. Maybe sellable, that might be sellable. And those two were no good. So what I can do with these now is I actually put them back in my Chaos Vendor recipe tab, and I can vendor those for a Chaos Vendor recipe. I'll do that now since we're since I've talked about it a bit. So we're going to take one item of each slot. So I got 2 rings, a belt, and an amulet, and a chest armor here. I'm going to take 2 one-handed weapons or a 2-handed weapon, and I need a helm, gloves, and boots. So there's some boots, and I'm just going to grab like helm here. I got boots already. I need some gloves. These are unique gloves. Probably have some crappy-ish gloves sitting around. I don't have many gloves sitting around. I actually can't do the recipe because I don't have any gloves for you guys. But if I trade all these like a full set, you get a Chaos Orb back. Too bad though. I can't show it off for you guys. Suffer. But yes, yeah, the 55 mana regen. We can actually take a look at this on PoE mods for you guys. 55 mana regen. This is on belt, so we need to go to rings. I was out of gloves. What a noob. So mana regen. I thought that was a suffix. We can just control F. Mana. Mana leech. Mana gained. Mana regen. It is suffix. Okay. So 55 is a tier 2, but 70 needs 79 for tier 1, which is a very high level. So you won't see many of this. Most people will be looking for in the 50s. You know, in the 50s is a good mana regen roll. Okay, so let's do a few more. We've got some amulets now. We'll just do a bunch of amulets together. So far, I think we've done alright. I think we've made back our costs, especially once you factor in the vendor recipes we'll be able to do out of all of these. I have so many rings and amulets and belts to vendor recipe, my bottleneck is actually normal gear. So next time I do a map run, I'll just grab some rares and use those for the vendor recipe. What am I doing here? Okay, this one has some life, nothing really else. The accuracy roll's okay, but not enough to make it valuable. Accuracy and evasion go well together, but with no life, no resists, meh. 17 spell damage is good, with 33 cold is good, but there's nothing really else on there that would sell that to me as a spellcaster, so I'm going to vendor that one. This one's got 60 life, 35 cold res, that's a good starting point for an amulet. A bit of extra evasion, that's probably sellable, maybe 1 or 2 counts. All res, 2 all attributes, that's so low. Ouch. That one's vendor. Fire damage, crit chance, life, rarity. That's definitely worth something. It's a medium life roll. The fire damage is okay, the crit chance is decent, and the rarity is okay. That's definitely worth something, that one. I don't know what exactly that one would be worth. No crit multi. Can that have crit... Can you add crit multi with Elrion? I don't know if you can add crit multiplier with Elrion. You can add crit chance, but not crit multi. Crit multiplier is the one people look for on amulets the most, unfortunately. The crit chance is not quite as valuable. That's definitely sellable, though. Okay, yes, for the vendor recipe, everything needs to be over level 60 for a Chaos, and for a Regal, it needs to be over level 75. You can check item level by picking up an item, typing / item level, and that's 71. So this one's got the crit multi-roll. If only that crit multi-roll was on that amulet. But by itself, it's not worth anything. Accuracy, Chaos, Res, ES, nah, not good enough. Alright, so those go in the vendor there. Alright, let's just do everything else in one go here. Yeah, don't buy them from the vendors, they won't work. This has life and all res, but 1 to 2 fizz, the life roll's bad, the Ellie roll is average. It's pretty bad, unfortunately. It had the right stats. If these stats were the same on this item, and they were in higher quantities, this would actually be good. Life and Energy Shield is actually not too bad together, because Eldritch Battery or hybrid characters will use them. But the rolls are so atrocious on that it makes me sick. This one here's got like nothing going on really for it, it's just a mess. Cast speed is valued on rings pretty nicely, the resists are a bit low. Mana's good, but mana is not super prioritized on rings. Yeah, it's not very good. That one's garbage. This one's got an okay fizz roll, perfect all res, added fire, a bit of rarity. Someone might buy that. It's not great though, and it also is 6 properties, so it can't have anything added to it, which hurts the value a bit. If that had an open slot, and could have life added to it, it would actually be pretty good, but nah. It might sell for a little bit. Maybe 1-2 cows. Good lightning resist roll, that's T2. Rarity is okay-ish, energy shield, strength. That actually might sell, because it's got a good resist, it's got energy shield, so a spellcaster might use it. Strength can sometimes be a little bit necessary for a spellcaster. You use things like reduced mana or other support gems. Not many though, usually they're looking for dexterity. That's sellable, but not great. That's pretty bad. Nothing really going on here. It's got high strength and intelligence, which can be a problem solver for some people, getting a bunch of stats like that on it, but with no other stats on it, no resist, nothing else, not very valuable. And this one's got good rarity on it. A bit of fizz damage, strength and mana. The rarity roll is probably, without anything else on there, probably not quite sellable. I don't know if 27 rarity pushes it up to be sellable enough. I'll show you guys how rarity works on rings. This is rings. So there's actually rarity prefix and suffix. It's dragons and excavation are the 2 highest ones. If you ever see dragons of excavation, you've made money, made some serious money. But we can get item rarity here up to 26. So this could be, it has to be a hybrid, right? It's 27, so it's at least 2 combined. It's probably mid rolls of 2 combined rarities. So 24 and 26, total of 50. But this one is 27, so it's at least combined. It's a double rarity roll. Maybe just the double rare. I'm not sure. Magic Finding is pretty popular. This is something I actually don't know about. Maybe a Magic Finder needs some strength. They're a physical attacker, and they want some rarity on their ring. Maybe this will sell. I don't know what to chuck that up for. Maybe 2 cows. But that's a difficult one. Later on in the league, though, I wouldn't even bother. Okay, I am missing some slots here, so let's just chuck those guys in there. Was that anything good? Life and... No, that was pretty bad. Those rolls were all terrible. So, we've got a few items here. Now, in terms of pricing, as I said earlier, when you're like looking at me pricing things, if you see me price something for 3 cows, don't assume that's going to be 3 cows in your league or at the time of day that you're trading with the person you're trading with. But hopefully you guys can... I'll try and explain why I'm pricing things the way I am. The first thing to know is that I tend to underprice things. I tend to price them lower to be safe. However, as I've gotten more and more experienced, I've started increasing prices. Like, I've started being like, I actually know that that's worth more, and price them for more. I recommend erring on underpricing though. I feel like it's better to make a sale and learn that at least that was a sellable item, and then maybe investigate whether it would be worth more, and then slowly learn more and slowly increase your prices, than it is to have super overpriced items that no one ever buys. So that's what I like to do. I like to move stuff quickly. I like to have a high turnover. Some people are asking about how I shift stuff quickly. If you hold control and click, it'll shift the things around quickly. Okay, so this one has a good ore resist, fire. It's on a chaos base, which is okay. It's usually chaos resistance is wanted on very, very good endgame items. This is only a mediocre item, so not as valuable together. And just short a bit of evasion. I can't imagine this going for more than 4 chaos, so I probably will err on the side of pricing it cheaper at 3 chaos. This one here has got a percentage evasion roll, which is nice to have. The life is decent. The cold resist is decent. This is just an okay starter amulet right here. Like, it's got nothing amazing about it. It's not damage oriented, and I'm in the softcore league here, the Torment League, so people want their crit multi, they want their crit chance, they want their accuracy. This has none of those things, so I'd probably sell this for like 2 chaos maybe. 2 chaos starter endgame amulet. This thing's got a sick mana regen, it's got rarity, it's got some ore resist based with evasion. It's actually a pretty good ring. I'd probably sell that for 5 chaos for someone who's really like playing an Eldritch Battle character and really needs some mana regen, maybe the magic finding as well. Pretty good rarity roll as well for a single rarity roll. Probably I think 5 chaos. 5 chaos is my like, my 5 chaos is, that's a pretty good item. That's a pretty good item. That's how I describe my 5 chaos items. Can you put life on that? Oh, we should check again. We need to consider again. Can this one have life added to it? I think this one actually could, couldn't it? Yeah, okay. I take it back. With the ability to add life on that, that ring becomes actually very good. I might even add life myself to this one. I don't recommend, if you're kind of just getting started, adding life to things, or adding things with master crafting, because you run the risk of screwing up an item. Like, if you add the wrong thing that someone doesn't need, like, someone might get this and be like, oh, well, I really needed some lightning resistance, but now I can't use that ring because I couldn't put it on there. I recommend not doing it for the most part and letting people mastercraft their own jewelry, because jewelry is a very big problem solver spot. People want to get the thing that's going to help fix, fill up their resists, like, get them that little bit of extra stat that they need, stuff like that. I feel fairly safe adding life to this one though, because it's an amethyst ring, and chaos resistance is wanted on life-based characters mostly. It's obviously useless for CI. I feel safe adding life to that, honestly, especially because it's an all resist ring. Do I want to add 4 chaos worth of life to that though? I actually don't think I do. I think I will probably let someone else do that, but I will price this higher because I know someone else can add some life to that. So let's think. Would someone pay 9 chaos for that with life? I think they would. So I think I'll sell that for 5 chaos and save the risk of adding life to it myself. Okay, you can actually remove these. Yeah, it costs a scour. They just need to find a crafter to do it. This one's life leech with fizz damage and 2 resists. Life leech is valued at least a couple chaos. People usually want a couple chaos if the ring's got some other stuff on there. I'd probably put this one at like 3 chaos. It's an all resist ring with some decent resists. Maybe a little bit more even, actually. This one, I said, could even be an upgrade for me, right? Maybe I don't want to sell this one, because I might actually use this. Well, I'm going to put this a little bit... I'm going to put this at 5 cows, higher than what I think it would sell for, because then, if someone gives me a good offer... This is what I do with gear that I'm going to wear, right? If I'm like, I could wear that item, I put it up for a higher price, then basically I'm saying if someone gives me a generous offer, I'll sell it. That's fine, I'm okay with that. But if it doesn't sell, I can use it later. So I'll put that one up for a little bit higher than probably what I would have thought to before. So this one's got high dexterity, which is good for spellcasters. Good rarity roll. Oh, you know, it's got a rarity roll. Good lightning, okay fire. The cold damage doesn't really add anything to it. It's not a bad ring. Certainly not a bad ring. I don't think it's not blowing me away. It's not blowing me away. I think like 3 cows would probably be a reasonable sell for that. Okay, what do we got? This is the rarity one. I'm not sure how much just a rarity like this goes for. So I'm actually just gonna try and sell it for 2 cows and see if it goes. And if it does sell for that, then I'll learn something. Okay, this one's got strength, rarity, lightning res, ES. Good lightning res roll, cold base, bit of rarity, bit of strength and ES. It's not bad. Could be useful for a spellcaster lacking some strength. Could just be useful for someone. It's got no life on it. Can it have? I don't think this one could have life added to it, could it? It actually can. Okay. Oh, Felix Lewin! Thank you for subscribing, sir. I'm glad you've been enjoying the stream, man. Appreciate the support, man. Thanks for subscribing. As for this ring, this might be another one I just sell for like 3 cows. Yeah, I think so. I think so. Okay, what's this one like? Fizz damage, all res, rarity, strength, fire res. That's a pretty good ring. That's a pretty good ring. It's maxed out, so it can't have anything mastercrafted to it. But I think it's pretty nice. I think that one's a solid, easy 5 cows. Maybe even a little bit more. I haven't added tabs for 6, 7, 8 cows yet. Okay, what's this amulet like? Fire damage, crit chance, life, and rarity. Again, no crit multi. People value crit multi over crit chance on an amulet by quite a great deal. Life roll is average. Rarity roll is pretty average. It's just like a tiny bit of added rarity. And Magic Finder's not really going to wear that. At least fire damage is a popular element, right? Percentage fire damage is pretty nice to get. I think maybe 3 cows for that one. And this one is 72 life, 16 all res. This is pretty nice. Just for those 2 stats alone. The other ones don't add much. But it can have like... I think this one can have another resist added to it. Yeah, it can have another resist added to it. Or even all resist added to it. Can you actually add all res to an item that already has all res? Oh no, that's all attribute. Okay, you can't... Good. That would have been a little bit shocking. You can have double all res roll. You can add more resist to that. If that was a blue ring, how much would I sell it for? Like 2, 3 chaos, maybe? The other stats don't add anything, so I'm probably going to sell it for like the same amount. Maybe 3. I've got a few 3 chaos items today. So I think that wasn't like a massively successful Alching session. I don't think. I didn't get any items that blew me away. I didn't get any like 10 chaos items. I didn't get any buyout featured items or anything. But I got quite a few items worth between like 1 and 5 chaos. I think a few of those ones I am a bit unsure about, so I'll keep an eye on how they sell, and that's a big part of learning is taking... Whenever you sell something, someone like, hey, I want to buy this thing, you're like, when you go to trade it, look at it for a sec, look at the stats, look at how much this person paid for it, and kind of memorize that, and you'll learn based on those sorts of things. But overall, with the Chaos Vendor recipe, with the ability to, you know, shuffle around in the prismatics like we did, and with the sales we got, we've at least more than covered. Assuming we make like 1 or 2 sales, we more than cover the arcs we spent. So not a hugely successful session, but hopefully you guys found it interesting and learned a few things from it. So I don't know if you guys have any questions or any suggestions on any items. People will disagree on values all the time. I see people in chat like, oh, he's underpricing those items, he's overpricing those items. I wouldn't even play a chaos for that. The thing about Jewellery and what makes it so interesting, and what's one of my favorite things to alch and craft, is because jewelry is so specific to the person, right? It's such a when I'm looking for jewelry, I'm like, well, I need specifically this amount of lightning resist. I really need some mana leech, and oh man, 50 mana would be super useful for me right now. You're looking for very specific things. So you're like, that's a garbage ring. That would only sell for a chaos. The thing is, someone else really needs those stats. There might be no one who needs those stats, but there might be someone who's like, shit, man, I'd pay like 10 chaos. I just want this problem sorted out. So people will spend premium on an item that has the right stats for them. So that's why I said the more jewelry I've crafted and traded, the more I've increased my prices over time. I still think I undervalue things quite a bit. I don't sell many things for 10 to 15, 10 to 20 chaos, and a lot of jewelry sells for that price bracket. So I know that some of my items are probably worth that, and I've been underpricing them. Some things probably I sell for like 3 chaos could be worth like 10 chaos to someone. But you just kind of got to start throwing darts and learning those things. But hopefully you guys found that interesting. I will put this as a highlight up on YouTube for you guys watching on the stream if you missed some of this. But any other comments, guys? Is it easy to set up a shop? It is easy to set up a shop. If you have not seen my procurement video, I suggest checking it out. I'll try and link that on the description for YouTubers, and for those of you guys who are not on YouTube, if you go to Google, type in PoE Ziggy D procurement, it'll be like the first result. Basically, if you set up a procurement shop, everything is automated. So what I do right now that I'm finished my Alching session, my first step, I close my procurement and I open another procurement. Usually I wait like a minute so it's got time to update. I sign into my procurement. If I've got anything I need to manually price, I do, but you'll notice I put a bunch of those into buyout tabs. So everything basically went into the buyout tabs. Here we go. We've actually got a sale here. I'd like to buy your Emperor Knuckle Diamond Ring 1C, 1C, 4C. Someone is he's been holding shift too much. 2C, 4C in total. Can you? Oh, all right, man. Come on down. We've sold some jewelry. This will be from our last Alching session. So I go here. I update my forum thread. All automatic, man. It's all automatic. And in like 5-10 minutes, I guarantee you guys watching my stream, I'll make some sales. All right, hold on. I gotta find the jewelry that this guy wanted. This will pop up and we can bump it. So guys, hopefully you enjoyed that. Let's do this trade. What's the PoE box behind you? It's actually a shirt draped over another box. Okay, so this guy wants